Test, 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 test. Good afternoon, my fellow aviators, those that tune in. I welcome you to today's stream. We're going to go over to the Caribbean. And we're flying over to the airport where I got my first pilot license, a private pilot license. We are flying over to Aguadilla, Puerto Rico. And we're leaving Tampa, which is a flight that I've done in real life before. It's a pretty good flight. It's a lengthy flight for sure, and it should be a fun one. We're here in the Terminal E, and we're flying the A321. There's our airplane right there. We're flying in the A321 Frontier livery with the Eagle, Frederick the Eagle. I flew on that exact plane on the way back to Tampa, and it's an impressive looking plane. It looks pretty. Got an American Airlines coming in from the terminal just now. That guy's dancing back there. He's enjoying his job. Good for him. Where's that American Airlines plane? Oh, there it is. Going into the gate now. Okay, cool. Let's climb into the airplane because we got quite a bit of planning to do. Take a look at our flight plan. There's a plane landing at the moment. Looks like they're landing on 19 today. Cool. So yeah, let's go ahead and climb into the airplane and get this thing going. I already called for water and lavatory services to be done, so that should be taken care of. All right. Taking a look, we're departing here in 49 minutes, so we got like 19 minutes here to brief up this flight plan. So, dispatch release, flight 1035, Frontier flight 1035, departing at 1920 Zulu, which is 2:20 Eastern Standard Time, and then we arrive at Aguadilla at 22:15 Zulu, which is 6:15 Atlantic Standard Time, so it's 1 hour ahead. And our alternate's going to be San Juan. Alright. Our block fuel is 24,023 pounds, and min fuel is 23,427. We got a ramp weight of 180,553 and a takeoff weight of 179,957. And looking at landing around 165.0. Great. Cost index is 5. And we have our fuel to there, and then we got our reserve fuel looking good. Alright. Departing. We're going to be departing via the Gandy 8 departure here at Tampa. And then we'll go down the Yankee 290 airway all the way down to Aguadilla. No arrival. We'll just transition directly into the RNAV 8 approach. NOTAM's looking good. Yep. So the rollout RVR for runway 19 left is unserviceable. And the one right is touchdown, or the touchdown zone is unserviceable. So one missing RVR. Visibility is pretty good, so we don't really need to be worried about that today. Looking at Aguadilla, 100 liter low lead is not available. That sucks. Alright, the Aguadilla VOR is being decommissioned. That's good to know. Runway 8, runway threshold lights not standard. And same for runway 26. Okay. And then we got runway 26, the RNAV, the TAA left base not authorized. Okay. Won't be doing that anyways. Good. Let's take a look at our weather. So our first officer is Courtney Black. And in the back we have Henrietta Perez, Darla Klein, Kirsta Cheney, Donnie Black, and Tricia Figueroa. Sweet. Taking a look at our en route weather. Jet stream about 41,000 feet. So we should have a crosswind. We might experience a little bit of turbulence as we cross over that jet stream. But actually no, we'll be below it, so we'll be just fine. We might get some turbulence on the way down to Aguadilla. Looks like some downdrafts. But it should be good. Great. Looks like we have a, what is that? AirMet Sierra for IFR conditions, mountain obstructions. There's no mountains in here, Florida. So just have my IFR conditions. That's fine. Nothing on the way over there. That's great. We do care about turbulence though. A little bit of turbulence around 23,000 feet, so we might get some turbulence at that point. We're going up to flight level 350. Looks like the turbulence kind of dissipates. But there we go. Now, I might expect a little bit of turbulence leaving Florida at 350. Just smooth out by the time we get over to Aguadilla. Sweet, yeah, it should be pretty smooth on the way down. Before we just start, actually once we probably start descending is when we'll experience a little bit of turbulence. Alrighty. Yep, we can expect runway 19 right for departure. And we have runway 8 for our approach over there. RNAV, no NOTAMs for that. Everything's looking good. Great. Let's look at the airplane. Crash angle looks good here. Let's start setting up. Hey, Stephanie. Or, excuse me, Courtney. Oh, jeez. Let's start setting up.
Roger.
Thanks. Oh boy, I called her the wrong name. Alright, let's turn down some of these lights here. Alright, this is a nav. This looks good here. Captain. This is good. This is all set up nicely. Pack's good. Actually, wait on that. This is set on data. This looks good. Keep the music playing. Alright. And all that looks good for now. Let's go ahead and look down here. Make sure we have current database. Oops. Good. Engine oil looks good. Check the tire pressures. Fuel's gonna come in soon. Air conditioning's not too bad. Wheels, brake temperatures, pressures are all good. Okay. Okay, comm is good for now. This radar is turned off, throttle set to idle, engines are in cutoff, set at norm, ground spoilers are retracted, and flaps are in its correct location. Transponder is off and rudder trim neutral, parking brake set, manual gear extension is guarded in its place. Alright. It's a little laggy here, not gonna lie. Alright. Let's read over this Gandhi 8 departure real quick. It's pretty simple. RNAV SID, takeoff runway 19 right is standard with a minimum climb of 500 feet per nautical mile. And then we'll climb 187, which is pretty much runway heading. Then turn right 203 or assigned by ETC at 540 feet. Our top altitude is 6,000. And then we should expect radar vectors to Candy, and then Paris, Murdo, and then Sabine. One second, let me check my laundry. Okay. Alright, now we're gonna go Frontier 1035 here. Our cost index was 5. And our cruise altitude is 350. Actually, I forgot to check the forecast. It's we're getting there at 2200. So 21 is the nearest one. Some showers in the vicinity by the time we get there, so we might expect some rain to build up. That's no problem. And right now over in Tampa, winds are calm at the moment, 10 statute miles. Altimeter 29er, 905. And looking pretty good. Temperature's 2.5, 2.21. Just go ahead and put that in there. Daniel, welcome, my friend. I love this music. Yeah. Hopefully it doesn't get copyrighted. I try to look up. Some of Chopin's music is not copyrighted. It's public domain, but I don't know which one is, which one's not. Okay, so that can stay as it is. Let's go to Tampa. We're departing runway 19er right. We're doing the Gandy 8 departure. Savvy transition. Insert that. Gandy, Paris, Murder, Savvy. Okay, that looks good. From there we go to FEMED, Saxon, then skips, or UCRAS too, and then skips, and then we go to BITAC, Haggett, Herberg, Meagle. Where is that? Oh no. Okay, so yeah, we'll be transitioning directly into the approach from there. It wants us to go all the way to the BQN VOR. Oh, that's true. That being said, we'll listen to let's lower it a little bit. Maybe it'll get mixed up into the sound of the airplane. But I'll have to turn it off here soon because I don't want to get copyrighted. We're doing the RNAV 8 and we're coming in at let's do Idaho. Let me see where this comes in. Let me take a look at this approach plate. Yeah, coming in at Idaho. Okay, yeah, that's a good point. I'm not generating revenue, so that's a very good point. Alright, so we'll go ahead and remove BQN here. We don't want to do that. And same for Meagle. Let's get rid of Meagle. And we should come in at Harburg. Coming at Harburg, and then it should be direct to Idaho from there. Perfect. Yep. Transition directly into the RNAV. So we can go ahead and clear this discontinuity and insert that. Now we have a nice flight plan that is connected. No, I don't want to connect the pushback. And there we go. Sweet. How's your day going so far? Are you working right now? And there's our missed approach. Alright. So that's taken care of. Performance will be next. This is actually, this flight is important in the sense that, personally, Aguadilla is the airport where I got my first pilot license at. Oof, meetings sound fun. Aguadilla, Puerto Rico was the license I got my private pilot license at. I did my exam over there. And then Tampa, well, not so much Tampa, but Sarasota, which is like 15 minutes south of Tampa. This is where I got my second license, the instrument rating. So these two airports are very important to me. Well, they're not important, but they play a big significance in my pilot career.
Hi, the security and safety check are all done. Are we good to start boarding?
Are we good to start boarding? Are you good to start boarding, Courtney? She doesn't care. Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Sweet. Seatbelt signs can come on. It is a little laggy here, I'm not gonna lie to you. Boarding passengers in the next 2 minutes. Sweet, that's fine. Nice. I'm glad it's a chill day. That's good. Alright, runway surface is dry. Flaps will do the optimal choice. Toga takeoff will do no. Anti-ice will be off. Packs will be on because it is smoking back here. It's 25 degrees Celsius here in Florida, and this is about in Fahrenheit. I love aviation because it's 77 degrees. It's actually not too bad. For Floridians, in Virginia, 77 would be pretty warm. But I love aviation in the sense that we still use Celsius, but we use feet instead for like our measurements. It's weird. And we use pounds, but the only thing we don't use that's used in America is Celsius. I don't know why we do that. Anyways, V1 is 157, VR 161, V2 161. We're doing flaps 2. Trim is going to be set to up 0.6, and we'll do a 46 degree flex takeoff temperature. Let me see what happens when we do packs off. Calculate that. It actually makes it worse, so let's go ahead and do packs on. Okay, looks like they're starting to board. So let's do the cockpit preparation checklist.
Gear pins and covers.
Removed.
Fuel quantity.
24,020 pounds.
Seat belts.
On.
Adheres.
Nav.
Borrow ref.
Borrow ref. Sorry. 29 or 9 or 5. Set and checked.
2995. Set. Cockpit preparation checklist completed.
Alright, thank you. Her name is Courtney, not Stephanie. I gotta remember that. Hopefully my wife doesn't watch this video. She's gonna be mad. I'm just kidding. She's not that toxic. Oh boy. Yeah, so no kilograms and kilometers, but yeah, exactly. Only in the States. Back over in Europe, they use kilometers and kilograms. However, if you look at some of the plates, actually no, yeah, that's right. They use kilometers and kilograms over there. All right. So init data is set up. Flight plan has been set up. Radio nav has been set up. Fuel prediction, we'll get that once we get our weights initialized. We'll go ahead and put in our secondary flight plan, a return back to Tampa. In case of any emergencies, we'll just do 3,000 feet. It's going to auto-populate. We'll put 25 degrees here. And then let's go ahead and calculate our performance for our landing. QNH is 29905. Temperatures is 25. Winds are calm at the moment. And we'll just put 200 here for our burial. Alright. And then we'll go ahead and put on the arrival ILS 100 right. We got it set up there, perfect. Okay, so that's looking all good. Let's go ahead and talk to ATC. We'll listen up to the current weather that they have posted. And we'll get our IFR clearance. So taking a look at the plate here, our ATIS frequency is 128.475. Oops. Actually, I want to put it on VHF too. 475. Music has to come off here for a second.
Landing and departing runways 19 right, 19 left. Temporary flight restrictions are in effect for Tampa. Advise on initial contact. You have information Papa.
Information Papa is current.
Tampa Airport information Papa. 1823 Zulu. Wind calm. Visibility 10. Temperature 25. 2.21. Altimeter 29905. Landing and departing runways 19 right, 19 left. Temporary flight restrictions are in effect for Tampa.
Okay, so there is a TFR, temporary flight restriction, currently active. Let me see where that is. It might be over the baseball stadium that's nearby. Over in St. Pete, which is not too far from here. Or is it? Oh, it might be the one that's over by West Palm Beach. Looks like a VIP personnel. Okay, so over by West Palm Beach, there's a TFR going on, but IFR clearance, yes sir. You cannot fly IFR unless you get a clearance from ATC. And we're gonna go ahead and do that right now. So let me go ahead and, so we're not gonna fly through that TFR, we're perfectly fine with that. Let's go ahead and request it. So an IFR clearance is the basis to all all of IFR flying pretty much. You have, we set it up in an acronym called CRAFT. C-R-A-F-T. The first letter is C for clearance, R is for routing, A is for your altitude, F is for your frequency, and T is for your transponder code. Your clearance is the clearance that the airport where you're being cleared to fly to, I should say. Routing is the route that you are cleared to fly. A is for altitude you're going to be assigned to. F is your frequency that you're going to expect to depart on, and you'll typically switch frequencies throughout the flight. And T is for your transponder code, so this code right here, the 2000, it'll be a specific code, and ATC can see it on their end, and they can track your flight. So let's go ahead and request our clearance then. So, and as you may have noticed from these previous videos, that the ATC clearance, especially at these busier airports, they are given to you very fast. So, and you don't want to look like a fool on the radio, because then you might waste their time and you're just going to look stupid. So you have to, I usually, write down everything that I know I'm going to get correct, so I don't have to focus on, you know, writing everything while he's talking, because that'll get really confusing. So we know we're going to fly to Aguadilla, so I'll put that in my C, in my clearance. Then you have your R, your routing. We know we're going to do the Gandhi 8 departure with the Sabi transition. Sabi is the last waypoint on this departure plate, and then from there will be as filed, so everything else that we put down in our flight plan. And then we have our altitude. Usually it'll be the SID or something that they'll typically assign you, either 6,000, which is what the departure plate says. Then you have your frequency, which is usually Tampa departure, and your transponder code is whatever they give us. So let's go ahead and tune into that frequency and request our clearance. Our frequency is 133.6. And I'll request a clearance, and then my first officer, Courtney, will be the one
Hi guys, here's the
responding.
load sheet for you.
Okay, thanks.
No problem. Have a safe flight.
Okay. Tampa clearance, Frontier flight 1035. We have information, Papa. Request IFR clearance.
Frontier Flight 1035, Tampa clearance. Thanks for information, Papa. Cleared to Rafael Hernandez. Gandhi 8 departure with the Sabi transition, then is filed. Maintain 4000. Departure frequency 135.5. Squawk 4301.
See that? They spit it out very
Cleared
fast.
to Rafael Hernandez. Gandhi 8 departure
Check.
with the Sabi transition,
Alright.
then is filed. Maintain 4000. Departure frequency 135.5. Squawk 4301. Frontier Flight 1035.
Frontier Flight 1035, readback correct. Contact ground 121.7 when ready for pushback or engine start.
Ground 121.7 when ready for pushback or engine start. Frontier Flight 1035.
All right. You ready for the departure brief? Are you ready for the departure briefing? Hello, lady. Are you ready for the departure brief?
Go ahead.
Thanks. Awesome. All right, so we got our clearance over to Aguadilla. We're doing the Gandhi 8 Sabi transition. We'll fly to 4,000, which we have set up on the MCP as Squawk 4301. Let's take a look at our taxi route. We can expect runway 19 right, which is to be a pretty simple taxi. We'll taxi via Victor and then Whiskey 8. We have about 11,000 feet of runway available to us, so conditions are currently dry and lighting is very good, so we should have a pretty smooth takeoff here. We'll be doing the Gandhi 8 departure. We'll fly runway heading for a little bit till we reach 540 feet. We'll turn either 203 or whatever heading ATC assigns us, and then we'll get our radar vectors over to Gandhi. For runway 19 right, the takeoff is a minimum climb of 500 feet per nautical mile to 4,400, which we can meet that requirement in this aircraft, and it's standard. Conditions are currently good for a good departure today. Winds are currently calm at the moment, and visibility is 10. Altimeter is set to 29 or 905, set on all three altimeters. And temperature is 25.
Request pushback.
For our performance today, we're going to take off via with flaps 2, up 0.6 on the temperature, or is on the trim.
Face east, JetBlue 792.
V1 is 157, VR 161, V2 161. We'll do a flex of 46 degrees on the engine today. Try to save some engine life. And yeah, for any failure prior to V1, we'll board to takeoff, full power to idle, apply the rejected takeoff procedure. Anything after V1, we'll continue the takeoff, and we'll take the issue up in the air, request our vectors back to an approach to Tampa. We have in the secondary flight plan an ILS built up for Tampa, ready to go. So, and this will be a left-hand seat takeoff. So for any failures, I'll be the one in control of the aircraft. All right. Let me see here. Really, there shouldn't be any threats to this flight. The weather is very good. We might expect a little bit of bumps on the way up to our cruise altitude, but it should be a relatively smooth flight. Weather is good, like I said, and yeah. Let me see here. Is there anything else I'm missing? No. Any questions? Any questions?
No questions.
Thank you. Great. Great, so we have our clearance. We have our departure already briefed up.
JetBlue 792 ready to taxi to
And
the
we're
active.
close to finishing up with passengers, it looks like. So we're taking quite a bit of passengers today, about like 200.
Taxi via Golf Bravo 1 Alpha Charlie Charlie 7.
Runway 19er left taxi via
226.
Golf Bravo 1 Alpha Charlie
Starting
Charlie
to
7
turn the APU.
JetBlue 792.
Right. And since we're waiting, let's go ahead and greet the passengers. We'll sit here and wait. Another special fact about this airport in Aguadilla is it's the longest runway in the Caribbean, so that's a pretty cool fact. In case you were wondering, you know. Look at this guy. My wife's texting me.
JetBlue 792, contact Tampa Tower 119.5.
Contact Tower 119.5 JetBlue 792.
Guess we could take a look at the departure of this airplane. America's Green Airline. So we need to close the gate. Oh, there's that JetBlue. Looks like they're leaving 19er left. I wonder if they're gonna assign us 19 left. That would suck. I'm not trying to taxi all the way over there. But if we have to, we have to. Tampa's a beautiful airport, man. There's the city in the background. It looks foggy. All right. How we doing on passengers here? 205 out of 226.
All aircraft be advised information. Quebec now current. Altimeter 299er tree.
Niner tree. This is why I put the ATIS on the
Airport
second
information,
comm.
Quebec. 1908 Zulu. Wind 285 at 4.
Oh, wow.
Visibility 10. Ceiling 4,800 broken. Temperature 24. 2.20. Altimeter 299er3. Landing and departing runways 19er right, 19er left.
Sweet.
Hey guys, all packs are on board. Are we clear to close?
Oh, absolutely. Yes. Yes.
Thanks. Let me know if you need anything.
All right.
WestJet 1247, gate 86.
Let me go ahead and do my cabin call.
WestJet 1247, Tampa ground. Pushback approved. Face northwest.
Pushback and engine
me,
start approved. Face northwest. WestJet
Go to a
1247.
different frequency here. Good afternoon from the flight deck. We'd like to welcome you on board today's Frontiers flight 1035 service to Aguadilla, Puerto Rico. We thank you for flying with us today, and we appreciate you choosing us as your primary source of travel. We welcome you on board. Today's flight, it's about 2 hours and 10 minutes of flying time. We'll be climbing around 35,000 feet. Temperatures here today in Tampa are around 77 degrees Fahrenheit. We'll be looking at departing here in the next 5 minutes or so, finishing up our paperwork and getting our clearances from air traffic control. If you can help the cabin by preparing for departure by finding your seats and securing your seat belts, that'll be greatly appreciated. Flight attendants will make their way around their cabin and verify the security of the aircraft. And if you can help by also paying attention to the safety announcements in case of any emergency, they're there for your help. And most importantly, they're also there for your comfort, so if there's anything we can do to help you feel more comfortable on your flight, please do not hesitate to ask. We're looking at you getting on the ground over at Puerto Rico around a 6:15 Atlantic Standard Time, which is 1 hour ahead of here. And we'll be looking at departing here soon. Flight attendants, if you can prepare the cabin for departure, arm doors, cross-check, and stand by for on-call. Before start checklist.
Parking brake.
Set.
Takeoff speeds and thrust.
Set and checked.
V1 5 7. VR 1 6 1. V2 1 6 1. Windows.
Closed. Closed.
Beacon.
On.
Before start checklist completed.
All right.
Hello, Captain.
We are ready for pushback.
Great, me too. Tampa ground, Frontier flight 1035, ready for push and start.
Frontier Flight 1035, Tampa ground, pushback approved, face north.
Pushback approved. Face north. Frontier Flight 1035.
Departure checks completed. Bypass pin inserted. Locking gear. Release parking brakes, please.
Alright, brakes released.
Commencing push. All engines clear. Start at will.
Roger. Starting engine 2.
Okay.
Cabin crew, arm doors and cross-check.
Oh, let me configure one of my controls here real quick.
Ladies and gentlemen, please observe the cabin crew member closest to you, as we are about
WestJet 1247, contact Tampa Tower 119.5.
21. Thank you.
Contact Tower 119.5, WestJet 1247. See you.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome aboard our Airbus
United 2398, Gate 7, request pushback and engine start.
signs and crew instructions, including the following section.
United 2398, Tampa ground, pushback approved, face east.
Pocket contains important
Pushback approved, face east, United 2398.
masks, life jackets,
That was a quick engine start.
brace position,
Alright,
which you must adopt
starting engine 1.
here.
Okay.
Brace. There are 8 emergency exits on this aircraft. The cabin crew are now pointing out the exits nearest to you. Please be aware that your nearest usable exit may be behind you. Emergency lighting will guide you to an exit. In an emergency, leave all baggage on board. Your seatbelt is fastened, adjusted, and released as shown. It must be fastened whenever the seatbelt signs are on, and we recommend that you keep it fastened at all times. If the air supply fails, masks will drop. Pull a mask towards you to start the oxygen. Put the mask over your nose and mouth and breathe normally. Hold the mask in place with the strap. Pull on each side.
2 good engine starts.
Put on your own mask before helping others. If we land on water, take a life jacket from under your seat. Move from the pouch and put it over your head. Pass the tips around your waist and close it.
Please set parking brakes.
Brake set.
Unlocking gear.
Do not inflate the life jacket inside the aircraft.
United
After start
2398,
checklist.
ready to taxi to the active.
Pull the top. If it fails to inflate,
Anti-ice.
United 2398, runway 19er, right taxi via Golf, Bravo 1, Alpha Victor, Victor 8.
Off.
Runway
Ecom
19er,
status.
right taxi
Checked.
via Golf, Bravo 1,
Pitch
Alpha Victor,
trim.
Victor 8.
0.6% set.
Rudder trim.
Neutral.
arm rests down.
After start checklist completed.
Alright, flight controls check.
Ready?
Further information regarding your safety
Full up.
can be found in the in-flight manual.
Full down.
We hope you have a great
Neutral. Full
Tow
left.
truck disconnected. Bypass pin removed.
Full
Left is
right.
clear. Right is clear.
Neutral. Full left. Full right. Neutral.
Clear left side.
Clear right side.
American 2920, gate 78, request pushback and engine start.
American 2920, Tampa ground, pushback and engine start approved.
Oh, there he is.
Face west.
Pushback and engine start approved. Face west, American 2920.
Right. He's got the pin. He's waving goodbye. He's leaving. Thank you. All right. Brake check.
Pressure 0.
All right. Taxi checklist.
Flight controls.
Checked.
Checked. Flap setting.
Config 2.
Config 2. Radar and predictive wind shear system.
On and auto.
Engine mode selector.
Normal.
ECAM memo.
Okay. Let's get the cabin crew verification that they are ready.
Cabin crew seats for takeoff.
There it is. Yes, hello.
Hi, Captain. The cabin is now secure for takeoff.
Excellent. Takeoff no blue.
Taxi checklist completed.
Great. Tampa ground, Frontier 1035, ready for taxi.
Frontier flight 1035, runway 19er right taxi via Victor, Victor 8.
Runway 19er, right taxi via Victor, Victor 8, Frontier flight 1035.
Right. Clear left side.
Clear right side.
American 2920.
I love the
Taxi
lag.
for departure.
American 2920, runway 19er right taxi via Victor, Victor 8.
Runway 19er right taxi via Victor, Victor 8, American 2920.
You got a United coming up in front of us over there?
United 2398, contact Tampa Tower 119.5. Contact Tower 119.5, United 2398, take care.
Going a little uphill here, so we'll go ahead and add some power to it. Flight attendant cease for takeoff, please.
Frontier Flight 1035, contact Tampa Tower 119.5.
Over to Tower 1, 19.5, Frontier Flight 1035.
Lineup checklist.
Tampa Tower, Delta 1662, visual runway 19
Takeoff
right.
runway.
Runway 19 right confirmed.
1662 Tampa Tower,
Runway
wind
19
285 at 4.
right
Runway
confirmed.
19 right, cleared to
TCAS.
land.
Runway 19 right, clear to
Takeoff
land.
runway
Delta
confirmed.
1662.
Approach path clear of traffic.
Checked.
American 2920, hold position for traffic. I'll call you back.
Hold position for traffic.
TARA.
American 2920.
Packs 1 and 2.
On.
Lineup checklist completed.
Alright. Tampa Tower, Frontier Flight 1035, holding short runway 19 right, ready for departure.
Frontier Flight 1035, Tampa Tower, wind 285 at 4. Fly heading 190, runway 19 right, cleared for takeoff.
Fly heading 190, runway 19 right, cleared for takeoff, Frontier Flight 1035.
American 2920, continue taxi.
Set heading 190.
American 2920.
Ready?
On runway 19 right.
Ready?
Ready?
Take
Ready?
off.
Check.
50%. Engine stable. Manflex SRS runway auto throttle blue.
19 right.
Manflex 46 SRS runway auto throttle blue.
19 right.
Checked. Thrust set.
Wilco, hold short of 19 right. American 2920.
100 knots.
Checked. Oh, bro. Just got a tailwind now.
V1. Rotate.
I hate the
Positive
stutters though. Gear up.
Gear up.
Frontier Flight 1035, contact Tampa departure.
Contact Tampa departure. Frontier Flight 1035. Have a good one. Tampa, Frontier Flight 1035, 900.
Frontier Flight 1035, Tampa departure, radar contact, cleared direct Gandy, resume the Gandy 8. Climb and maintain 17,000 feet.
Cleared direct Gandy. Resume the Gandy 8. Climb and maintain 17,000 feet. Frontier Flight 1035.
Alright. Set altitude 17,000. Flaps 1.
Speed checked. Flaps 1.
Flap 0.
Speed checked. Flaps 0.
contact Jacksonville Center. 33325 United 2398. Have a good day.
Tampa, American 2920, 900 feet.
American 2920, Tampa departure, radar contact. Clear direct Finke. Resume the VAPO 2. Climb and maintain flight level 180.
Cleared direct Finke. Resume the VAPO 2. Climb and maintain flight level 180. American 2920.
It's a beautiful day. A little bit of puffy clouds. That's normal in Florida though. I have to admit, one of the coolest things in my flying career is getting to touch a cloud. When I was doing some flying, I got to stick my hand out the window and I got to touch a cloud that looked just like that. And man, that was quite cool. It's very wet. Kind of crazy. You stick your hand out there and it's actually quite refreshing. Like, it feels wet, but it doesn't leave your hand like soaked or anything. I don't know how to describe it, but it's very cool. We're flying over Sarasota now. This is the airport where I did my last flight training at. We're passing 10,000 feet.
Climb and maintain 15,000.
Sarasota is where I got my instrument rating done. Beautiful airport to fly at. Can't really see it because I think we're flying right over it. So. Oh, it's actually down beneath us over there.
Climb and maintain 15,000. Altimeter 29er
Alright, I'm done hand flying. Autopilot 1 on.
Intercept the 19er right localizer. Climb and maintain 15,000. Altimeter 29er American 436.
Let me see if I can see some of the airports I've flown to. So, right now towards like, it looks like the southeast over there. Actually, no, southwest. There's Sarasota, and down over there is Venice, which I've flown solo to a couple times. Over here towards the east, there should be an airport called Wauchula. I've flown to that one a couple times. This is not showing up on the map though. Let's see if we can look for it outside the window. It's not too far from Sarasota, so I imagine you can spot it. It's a short runway. Is that it right there? No, that's not it. There's no water nearby it. Might be down over there somewhere. We're a little too far and the details aren't good. Alright. Flight attendants, you can resume normal duties. Ladies and gentlemen, from the flight deck, just to keep you aware, right now we're climbing through around 14,000 feet. We're leveling off around 35,000 feet. We're going to expect a little bit of turbulence climbing up
Miami
to our
Center,
cruise
Frontier Flight
altitude, so we're going to keep those
1035,
seatbelt signs on
climbing
until then.
1,400 feet for
We appreciate
17,000.
your patience, and talk to you again soon.
Frontier Flight 1035, Miami Center, good day. Climb, maintain flight level 350.
Climb, maintain flight level 350, Frontier Flight 1035.
All right, I'll be back.
Altimeter setting.
Miami Center, American 436 through 12,000 feet for 15,000 feet.
Standard cross-check, passing flight level 192.
Climb, maintain flight level 310, American 436.
Now.
Frontier Flight 1035, contact Miami Center 134.75. Take care.
Contact Miami Center 134.75, Frontier Flight 1035. Have a good day. Miami Center, Frontier Flight 1035, passing flight level 196 for flight level 350.
Frontier Flight 1035, Miami Center, copy.
133.275, Frontier Flight 1035. Miami Center, Frontier Flight 1035, through flight level 248 for flight level 350, direct PEMID.
Frontier Flight 1035, Miami Center, roger. American 992, contact Miami Center 134.75. Have a good one.
Contact Miami Center 134.75, American 992. Bye-bye.
Frontier Flight 1035. Miami Center, Frontier Flight 1035 through flight level 323 for flight level 350, direct Saxon.
Frontier Flight 1035, Miami Center.
$1,000 to go.
Frontier Flight 1035, contact Miami Oceanic 123.775. Have a good one.
Contact Miami Oceanic 123.775, Frontier Flight 1035. See you. Miami Oceanic, Frontier Flight 1035, flight level 350.
Frontier Flight 1035, Miami Oceanic.
Alright, let's check up on the flight. We should be approaching close to our top of the set. Oh boy. Actually, we still got a little bit ways to go. Top of descent will be in at 2124. Is currently 2057. So about 30 more minutes or so, we'll be doing our descent. Calculate our top of our our landing performance. So we got 157 plus 0.9 plus 9.1 is 167 on the dot. Our max landing weight is 166.7, or excuse me, max zero fuel weight. Max landing weight is 174.6. We can do low water brake and max reverses. Alright, looks like we'll come back in the next 30 minutes or so. Once we actually reach, let's see, let's calculate our descent, because since we're not doing an arrival, we have to be on our money with our descent here. So let's see, at Idaho, minimum en route altitude is, looks like it wants us at 6,000 in Idaho. So let's see here. Yeah, we're not going to be at 18,000 in Idaho. Aqaba needs to be at 2,500 at least. Odez at 2,500. So we can put in here Odez 2,500. And then 1,900 at Enos. And then continue down. We're doing the LNAV. So 760 is our minimum descent altitude. Our missed approach point is the runway threshold, and our VDP is at 1.4. Touchdown zone elevation is 237. Okay. And then at Idaho, let's be at 6,000 at Idaho. It should give us a better top of descent calculation now. Yeah, you see now we have to descend before Harburg. Alright, so we have to be at Idaho, let's say 6,000. We're at 35,000 at the moment. So we do 35,000 minus 6,000 equals 29,000, divide that by 1,000 equals 29, times that by 3, which gives us 87 nautical miles to descend. And since we're descending through 10,000 feet, we'll add 5 nautical miles to slow down to 250 knots. So we need to be 92 nautical miles from Idaho to descend. So if Idaho is about, let me see here. Oh, it doesn't give me. It'll be alright. We got it. It's actually, it seems complicated at first, but it's pretty simple, to be honest. It's just your altitude that you need to lose, which is, what did we calculate? 35 minus 6, 29. You times that by 3. And then you add 5. And that's the altitude we need, or that's the distance we need to get to our altitude. How's my day? My day is going great. This morning we did some groceries, and then kind of organized, started getting laundry started, and then I just started. Well, I pretty much finished cooking food. I made some mashed potatoes, and I'm making some chicken later, and that's what I've been doing. How's your day been? Math is not mathing. Math can be too math, but when you got the math right, you can math it just good. So from Idaho to Harburg is 82 miles. So then we need to descend 10 miles prior to Harburg, which looks pretty much accurate to what the navigation display is saying. Oh, my wife is calling me. Excuse me. Alright. Breakfast, work, lunch, work. Finishing in 30. That sounds like a solid day. Do you work from... You said you work from home? Or do you work in an office? Turn down your speakers, by the way, if you have this on. Okay. Very pretty airplane. Alright, let's go back inside. It's too loud out there. I know, right? Just open the door and just put up a little parachute and just take photos of the airplane outside. Ooh, there is a Dominican Republic right there. Let me tell the cabin. Ladies and gentlemen, from the flight deck, just to let you know, if you look out to your right side, you'll have a pretty view of the mountains of Dominican Republic. Shout out to my family who's from there. Alright, you can go back to relaxing. See ya. And then just up ahead, we're actually not too far. Yeah, that's all Dominican Republic. Let's take a look at the weather, because we had forecasted that there's some possible showers popping up. So let's take a look what it's doing right now. It's still actually very good. Winds aren't too strong, clear skies. Actually shouldn't be an issue. 2100, yeah. Yeah, there's some showers in the vicinity, but right now it's looking good. So there should be no excuse to get a perfect landing today. And the wind is going straight down the runway, so that's even better. You can't open the door while flying, right, dude? Yeah, exactly, you can't open. If you were to open the door right now, it would do the same thing as the submarine down in the Titanic. You know, when they were looking for the Titanic, it'd do the same thing. It'd just explode. That's why sometimes when you have like if there's a decompression that happens, typically it's a very small like exposure or a very small leak, and the pressure difference is very great. Let me see if I can actually look at pressure. Boy, I'm rough on my pressurization systems, so give me some wiggle room here. So right now, our cabin altitude is at 7,000 feet. You can tell by cab alt. Right now, the cabin altitude is pressurized at 7,000 feet, and it has these pretty much what it does is the air conditioning system, I guess, to put it in simple terms. It pumps air into the cabin, into a sealed unit. The cabin and the cargo and what else? I think the cabin and the cargo are sealed into a unit. And the air conditioning system pumps air into the cabin, and it puts it to a certain pressure that we set it at. Right now it's on auto, but you can automatically set it to a altitude by this man VS switch here. You can set it to down or up, and then you have to press this button saying mode select, put it to manual. Right now it's on auto. So basically that'll set the cabin altitude to a comfortable altitude. And then you have the safety valve too, so in case if it starts to increase in altitude, or excuse me, it'll pretty much, in case of an emergency, it'll either shut it so that the pressure doesn't escape, or it'll have an outlet valve, so in case if it's too much pressure, it will let go some of the air to decrease the pressure, and stuff like that. Right here, the delta P, that's the difference in pressure between outside and inside. And right now it's in a good, comfortable value, but once it starts going into the red, that could be a sign that the pressurization system is going to fail. And that's where the safety valve comes in. And pressurization is good. Besides from the obvious factors, the obvious factor is you don't have oxygen if you're at too high of an altitude. So you'll get hypoxia. That's the obvious reason why pressurization is good. But other reasons too is it's more comfortable too. So when you're at higher altitudes, you'll tend to, pardon me if this is gross, but you'll tend to fart more. So if you're at a higher altitude and the pressurization system wasn't pressurized well, everyone in the back is going to be passing gas, and it's going to smell really bad back there. It's comfortable on the stomach. What else? Let me look it up. I have my notes from my class. Here we go. Aircraft systems. Did I not take notes on pressurization? I don't think I did. Anyways, yeah, that's part of the pressurization system. And that's why whenever you're on a flight, they'll always, in the safety announcements, they always say, put your mask on first, before you help others. Because in the case of a depressurization, you have a thing called useful consciousness. And when you are at high altitudes, at this altitude at 35,000 feet, your consciousness is only useful for the approximately the next, I'd say probably 5 seconds. You have about 5 seconds to put your mask on before you start experiencing the symptoms of hypoxia. And hypoxia can severely impair your judgment. And there's a video of I forgot his name, Smarter Every Day, I think. He makes a video of going into an altitude chamber, and he experiences hypoxia. And hypoxia, the lack of judgment you have in hypoxia, can be so bad that you can't even do basic things like add 2 plus 2 or putting shapes inside a box, you know, like the little toddler game. So, do you know all the screen switches and knobs and buttons here? For the most part, yes. So, there's some that I think I know the majority of them. Yes. So, everything is kind of organized into compartments here. Over here, you have all the circuit breakers. So all these control a specific thing on the aircraft, and the pilots don't really mess with these as much, because if one of these pops, then, you know, for example, this right here, where it says flight controls, rudder FTU, if that pops, most likely the rudder isn't going to be working, and that's an issue. So you would need to contact maintenance. But yeah, those are circuit breakers. Over here, ADIRSs, those are what connects to the satellites to give us our navigation. FLT, CTL, flight controls. Evac, this is your evacuation. So like, right now it's in captain. So that means if we need to evacuate the aircraft, I would lift this little guard up, and I'll press this button, and it gives the command to evacuate. And right now the switch is in captain mode, which means only I can give that command. If I were to put this in captain and pursuers, then captain and the flight attendants can make that command. This is your emergency electrical power. So obvious, you got all your other buttons too. I don't want to get too technical, but you got your ram air turbine, so forth. This is your your alerts. This GPWS, ground proximity warning system, pretty much gives you alerts in case you're too close to terrain. It will tell you things and whatnot. Your recorder, cockpit voice recorder right here. Oxygen supply. Then you have your calls. You see me use this all the time, the all call. Windshield wipers. Lights right here. APU. Let's see here. Over here, up here is your fire extinguishers for the engines. Down here you go to your hydraulics. Down here is your electronic systems, and over here is your air conditioning. You can see it's all labeled too. It's all labeled over here, so it makes it easy. Trust me, it seems complicated, but pilots are pretty dumb too, so they make it pilot proof is what we call it. This panel right here, this controls your autopilot, and this one with the switches, it controls your navigation display. So all these buttons gives different things you can look at on the navigation display. This one's airports, constraints that we have on the flight plan. This is just your computer, so you plug in all the stuff for the flight in here. That's your radio panel. This is your radar, this bottom one. So it doesn't work on the simulator, but you use this to control the radar, and that's what it'll detect precipitation ahead of you, and you can tilt it up and down. You can change the intensity of it too. That's your transponder, like I talked about earlier. ATC uses that number to identify you. Parking brake, obviously. These are your flaps, your engine control. Yeah, like I've spoken to UPS pilots, FedEx, what else? American Airlines, United, and they all say the same thing. It's pilot proof because they make it flying can be very complicated, and it can be what we call work saturated, where there's a lot of things going on. So the easier they make flying is the better it is. So like, you know, I know this is, if it's raining, I'll come to this panel because it says rain. You know, it's very, very simple. And Airbus makes it simple. There are some other complicated airplanes out there. Alright, we're getting close to our top of descent here. We're about 30 miles out. Do I need to check if they all work per flight or regularly? So maintenance does inspections regularly that checks for the functionality of everything in here. But part of the pre-flight is you conduct a check on the basic things. So basically, like whenever I start my flights, we do a thing called a flow, where we'll flow all the way up and down and checking all of the things, making sure they're illuminated correctly. That's the other thing. The designers of the airplane, they designed it in a way where right now it's in a normal configuration because there's no lights. If I were to press this button, there's a light on. That means I know the APU is on, and that's not normal. It's called the what's it called? Moonlit configuration, I believe. Or lights out configuration is the other term. So yeah, you kind of do a brisk check of everything before you head out. And the systems, they all talk to each other. So if something's going wrong, it'll send a notification to the pilot here saying, hey, something's wrong. And we also have the status page. So it checks everything's normal, which is good. And Frontier Flight 1035 is ready to descend.
Frontier Flight 1035, flight present heading, descending flight level 200, Rafael Hernandez Airport, landing runway 8.
Fly present heading, descend to flight level 200, Rafael Hernandez Airport landing runway 8, Frontier Flight 1035.
And you can take my information with a grain of salt because, again, I'm not an actual real airline pilot. I just have many hours in this airplane, but I'm not legally allowed to say this is the correct information. However, on the Cessna is the same thing. I would do the same thing as I do in here. Obviously, it's not as complicated. Yeah, my brother-in-law is certificated on this aircraft, so he's giving me some pretty good knowledge on that too. Let's bring out some spoilers, and we'll go ahead and let the cabin know we're descending. Ladies and gentlemen from the flight deck, you may have noticed that we've begun our descent into Aguadilla. You can expect the seatbelt signs to be coming on here shortly, so if you can find your seats and fasten your seatbelts, that'd be greatly appreciated. We'll be making our way into Aguadilla here in the next 30 minutes or so. So flight attendants, can you please prepare the cabin for arrival? Yeah, ask me all the questions you can, because it also helps me stay on my toes and make sure I know my things, right? And I will definitely, if I have financial questions, I'll bring them up to you. Finances hurt my brain. Alright, we're gonna make it a little uncomfortable getting to our descent here. Let's bring out flaps or spoilers full here. Should catch up with our vertical profile here in a second. Oh, this is another good thing about the pressurization system. We're descending, right? Right now we're descending at 4,800 feet per minute. But over here on the pressurization system, it has it at 350 feet per minute. So it's doing a pretty good job maintaining a good, comfortable descent back there. So that way the ears aren't popping too crazy. You see the outlet valve kind of opened up just a little bit. But it's just maintaining good pressure back there. So technically you don't need to see outside of fly, like with the data you get from all these panels. That's correct. So basic instrument flying, I can have the kind of like what you saw in the landing in Alaska. You have all the panels here, and the navigation display can guide you all the way to the airport. And then you do a thing called an instrument approach procedure, which allows you to fly to the runway to a certain altitude without having to see the runway. Again, it can get very technical, but right now we're set up to do an RNAV approach into Aguadilla. Aguadilla is just RNAV just stands for Area Navigation, and it's aka GPS. So I'm using the GPS to guide me to the runway, and using this I can descend to an altitude of 760 feet. When I reach 760 feet, I have to have visual confirmation of the runway or the runway environment for me to be able to continue my landing. If I don't, then I have to go around and I have to conduct a missed approach and either consider diverting or trying the approach again. Then you have a thing called a Category 2 and a Category 3 approach, or ILS approach. And those allow you to use your radio altimeter, which is a system that sends radio waves down to the ground and it bounces up and it tells you what altitude you're at, height above the ground. And you use that to fly down to a certain altitude. Usually Category 2 approaches has a radio altimeter down to 100 feet above the ground. And if you don't have visual confirmation of the runway environment in sight, then you have to conduct a missed approach. A Category 3 allows you to fly to 0, and that typically requires the aircraft to be equipped with an auto land. So these aircraft, you can see here, Cat 3, there in green, it's a sticker. These aircraft need to be certified and to be able to do a Category 3 landing. Not every aircraft can do it. So that's why whenever you're in Category 3 conditions, you do a Cat 3 ILS approach, and the autopilot literally, I kid you not, it will literally land itself. The airplane will land itself. And I don't know, I think it's specific to each airline, but you're not allowed to touch the autopilot if you're doing a Category 3 ILS landing. You're supposed to allow the aircraft to fly itself. And we're going to continue descending because ATC doesn't know what they're doing, so we're going to go ahead and continue our descent. So yeah, every approach is unique to the airport. Not every airport is equipped with an ILS approach. Like for example, the airport we're going to right now does not have an ILS. So typically, if there's poor conditions, I would not depart to this airport unless I know I can assure a good landing over there, or at least descend below my minimums. 29er 93. One second. I'll be back. I was told that the flights can now be fully automated, but we don't because the negative opinion from the public. Huh, that's a good point. So yeah, in theory, flights can be fully automatic. There's a, I think they did a test on some sort of airplane that it was driven by a robot pretty much. I don't remember where it was, but it departed and it landed by itself completely. It was pretty impressive. But yeah, I don't think it'll ever happen because computers can have errors, and having a human element behind flying is always going to be a necessary thing. Okay, we're coming in through 12,000 now, so we're almost there. There's the mountains of Puerto Rico in the back. But yeah, I would agree. It would be something the public would not like too much. If you think about it, if you were to walk into your flight, wherever you're going, and you walk in and you find out no one is actually flying the airplane and the pilot's sitting at home or something like that, how would that make you feel? It wouldn't make you feel very good. I wouldn't feel good. I'd be like, why is there no one flying here? Yeah. Yeah, drones. I mean, yeah, you can see how capable we can be with drones. And maybe I would probably see in the future them automating, if anything would be automated, it'd probably be cargo flights. Because at least they're not carrying human life. Because once you start incorporating a human life in it, then it starts to become like, a little bit more worrisome. Yeah. I've heard articles of them trying to incorporate self-flying vehicles, kind of like your own personal drone that you can get into and fly around to your work. I think that's a terrible idea. I think people are going to kill themselves so much doing that. Also, I realized your confusion over Wednesday and the 31st. I thought the 31st was Wednesday, but no, it's tomorrow. So yeah, tomorrow is when we're gonna have the people over. So yes, the 31st will be here. Yeah, I know, right? Alright, we're at 6,000. We passed Idaho. We're on the approach now, so let's keep our speed. Go down to 250. And we'll go ahead and activate the approach. Flight attendant cease for takeoff, for landing, please. That's that one up. Since we're going into a class Delta airport, we have to be at 200 knots 4 nautical miles within the primary class Delta airspace. So we'll be fine with that compliance. Looks like the sun is starting to set. Alright, Aguadilla is coming into sight now. I could be crazy and do the return leg. I'm just kidding. I want to though. I think the return leg that we did in real life was from Aguadilla to Tampa. I think we departed at like, I think it was around like 10 o'clock at night. It was pretty late. coming down to 2,500 now. Let's start getting ourselves established on the approach. Flaps 1.
Speed checked. Flaps 1.
Just go ahead and reduce sound and final approach speed. Here's our runway.
2,500.
Yep. Flaps 2.
Speed checked. Flaps 2.
Flaps 3.
Speed checked. Flaps 3. Nassau Center, Frontier Flight 1035, 2,300 feet.
Frontier Flight 1035, Nassau Center, radar contact. Frontier Flight 1035, altimeter 299.
Speed checked. Flaps full.
Approach runway 08.
Altimeter 29er,
Gear down.
9er 3, expect the visual approach runway
Gear down.
08, Frontier Flight 1035.
Frontier Flight 1035, airport is at your 12 o'clock 8 miles. Report the field in sight.
Field in sight, Frontier Flight 1035.
Frontier Flight 1035, cleared visual approach runway 8.
Cleared visual approach 8, Frontier Flight 1035.
Frontier Flight 1035, contact Aguadilla Tower 124.95.
Over to Tower 124.905, Frontier Flight 1035. Aguadilla Tower, Frontier Flight 1035, visual runway 8.
Frontier Flight 1035, Aguadilla Tower, wind 090 at 8. Runway 8 cleared to land.
Runway 8 cleared to land, Frontier Flight 1035.
Cool. Landing checklist.
Ecom memo.
Landing no blue. Landing no blue.
Landing checklist completed.
Okay. I have control. I have control.
You have control. $1,000.
1,000. Approaching.
I don't know why my
0,
button's not working
8.
now. Checked. 08. continue. Man, it's been a while since I've done a landing here. I've actually flown at this airport in real life, and it's crazy windy.
Sync rate.
Yep.
500.
A little bit of turbulence there. Alright, we're floating, that's alright, it's a long runway. Let it settle, let it settle.
10, 5.
Dang. Get on the ground, bro.
Spoilers. Reverse green. Decel.
Decel. 80 knots.
70 knots.
Checked. Manual braking, reversers are in now.
Frontier Flight 1035, exit next available taxiway.
Exit next available taxiway. Frontier Flight 1035.
A bit of a long landing there, but it's alright. That little building next to the hangar over there, that's where the flight school was, where I got my private license at. I think it's the white one next to the yellow. Yeah. After landing checklist.
Radar and predictive wind shear system.
Off.
After landing checklist completed. Taxi light off.
trying, bro. This is a heavy plane. Alright, there you go. Brake set. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Aguadilla. Local time is currently 5:56 p.m. We thank you for flying with us today and we hope to see you again soon. Flight attendants, the cabin is secure. You are free to start deboarding. Look at this guy gets. Alright, let's check out our landing rate and let's go home. 137, even though I landed halfway down the runway. That's fine though. Alright. Good flight. Hopefully I can do another one soon. This guy is just doing the Gangnam style very slowly now.
Passenger's bus is coming.
Alright. Let's take a look outside and then we'll sign off. Very nice. I love the sunset. Alright. Till next time. See ya.